get ready for a roller coaster ride of reviews and pop culture goodness.
This week on the SF Files, we are diving headfirst into the action-packed world of Cobra Kai, a thrilling twist of twisters, and
Deadpool and Wolverine.
We will dish out our honest opinions, share some laughs, and maybe even blow your mind with some unexpected revelations.
So buckle up and get ready for a wild ride. Welcome to the SF Files, BB and CK in the house. Today we are going to review Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 1. That's right, Part 1. Netflix decided to give us 5 episodes, and then a few months down the line, I think November?
So yeah.
In November, they're going to release 5 more episodes, and then they're planning to release the third and final part to the series sometime in 2025, hopefully sooner than later, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that. We'll keep everyone posted. But Season 6, Part 1, 5 episodes. I binged it last night. CK, I think you saw it a night before I did.
I saw it. What
are your thoughts? I know this is something that we've had our eye on Cobra Kai since the very beginning, before we even started our podcast. This is just huge. We're big Karate Kid fans. CK, what are your thoughts on this?
Like you mentioned, I am a big Karate Kid fan. I watch pretty much all the movies. But, however, I have to say, when Cobra Kai started out, I was excited. It was awesome. It was fun. A lot of nostalgia in it. It was great. Mm-hmm. Reaching Season 6, though, I feel it's kind of like you can tell it's kind of reaching its end point now. Like it's kind of gone on long enough. I mean, yeah, I'm still going to watch it no matter what. But right. It's kind of like you can tell it's kind of nearing the end now, if that makes sense.
Do you feel like it's losing steam, or do you feel like the story is progressing towards that ending? What exactly do you think there?
Probably both, really.
Okay.
I just feel like they're kind of stretching it out a little too far. And Chris is my boy, but man, it's getting kind of ridiculous with him now, to be honest with you. But so when they left off, Chris was a wanted man because he killed people and escaped the hospital and stuff like that.
Right.
And then he comes back all of a sudden, he's like over the seas all of a sudden, like somewhere else in the jungle pretty much. I was like, how the hell did that even happen? He's a wanted man. How did he get all the way across?
Yeah.
And of course, I know it's not supposed to be real. It's a show, but still, that leap is just kind of weird. Maybe it's all in my opinion, though, but that's kind of where I see it. So it's kind of weird. But yeah, I do feel like it's reaching the end point.
And like you said, he's an awesome character in this. Martin Kove, the man is 78 years old today, 2024. He's 78 years old. And the way he's portrayed, like this badass, like he's still, I mean, the guy's still buff, right? But and he's got this intimidating look. Yeah, for sure, 100%. But like, is he really gonna like break out of a hospital like that and force his way through security, find some way to get on an airplane or a boat or whatever he did to go to Korea? Like, I don't know, man. It's stretching it a little bit, huh?
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of getting on his side, his story, I guess, getting a little ridiculous, I think.
But regardless, I kind of felt like, yeah, I gotta agree with you. I think the series is starting to slow down. These first 5 episodes I felt were very, very slow compared to like the first 4, which were fantastic. Maybe the 3. 4 was all right, I think. 5 was kind of picking up again, kind of building towards this finale. But now that we're in this finale, this final season, it felt slow for me.
Yeah.
Which was fine. It's great. Story doesn't disappoint. The drama doesn't disappoint. It's got all that high school drama and everything. And the Cobra Kai has been great with that since the beginning. They know how to pull all your emotions and suck you into the story and keep things interesting. But not a whole lot's going on. That's one thing that I kind of felt like. It was just like, okay, cool. Story's developing here. This person's growing. This person's becoming a jackass. There's so many characters and so much to tell that I feel like they're just kind of falling a little flat. They're not telling the overall story. They're not progressing the overall story as quickly as they could or should.
Well, I'm hoping that the coming episodes, they picks up a little bit, changes the tempo of it, and just wait and see what happens. But I do hope it kind of changes a little bit, because I hate to say it, because I'm a big fan of Karate Kid, but it was a little bit of a letdown for me, I think. I was expecting something more, I guess. And like I said, maybe that'll change in the coming episodes, hopefully.
Yeah.
But as of right now, 1 through 5 was a bit of a letdown to me.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it's just me. I don't know if you will feel the same about this, but because they're releasing this final season in sections, 5 episodes at a time, I feel like when they release the whole season, it blends and it meshes a little better. Because when they tell the story in previous seasons, they do like this balance act where there's storytelling, action, storytelling, action. And this one was all storytelling, like almost the whole 5 episodes. So it was like, when is somebody going to throw a kick or like, and yeah, they do have some
pretty
action
cool
stuff
scenes,
in
though,
there,
actually, yeah. It had some pretty good fight scenes. It did have some pretty good fight scenes in it. Corey would have been quotes a bit more, a little more action in some way. But personally, looking at it, like, the whole rivalry between LaRusso and Johnny and stuff, it was kind of weird in this one for some reason to me. Because at one point I saw them, okay, they're working together, they're happy, and then later they're mad at each other again. They don't want to work together. Later on, okay, they're going to try to work again. Then boom, they break off again. It's like, so what's it going to be to make up your mind? It's getting kind of old, the rivalry thing. But I think that's kind of why they added like extra characters or extra villains, you can call them, just to change it up a little bit. But even with those, I'm really impressed with those either.
Yeah, I agree with you as well on that. I feel like the beef was squashed between them. It feels like the air was cleared and they should be on the same page, but it's like the same thing over again. And I thought they were past that. I don't know, dude. It just feels like they're going backwards a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what confused me because, like I said earlier, at one point they're great, then they're not. So it's like, were they going to come back together and actually do what they need to do? And I felt like on this one, Chosen, which was my favorite character, I'm so glad they brought him back and kept him. He didn't have a huge amount to do in the episode. I didn't feel like it.
Right.
He was kind of the tag-along friend for Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't feel like he really did a whole lot when he was there.
I think that kind of ties into what I said earlier. Like, there's so many characters that I guess they don't know what to do with Chosen. They already told his story, so they're like, oh, let's just send him back to Okinawa. They got rid of him because they got nothing for him. And yeah, there's just too many kids, too many storylines going on at once, I guess. Like, they overdone it. They had a good balance act, probably peaked at season 3, maybe. 4, it got messy. 5, I think, feel like things got better, but now it's overwhelming.
And that's when it goes back to what I say, reaching the end point. So they can't stretch out the story much more.
Mm-hmm. I will say, though, that I was never bored when I was watching these 5 episodes. Like, it was, I think we started at 9 p.m., and we binged it. We watched the whole thing. Me and my wife, we were just like, what's next? Next. Like, what's going to happen? Like, we were in it. We wanted to continue. We wanted to find out what happens next. But yeah, it was just a little disappointing. I think maybe I was expecting a little much more than what we got. But at the same time, I'm hoping that they, kind of like you said, the next part 2 and part 3 is just going to amp up the intensity, the action, the drama, and just do what Cobra Kai does best. You know?
Yeah. And I guess, unfortunately, I have to wait till November, which still doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why they're doing it that way in such a long time in between. I don't understand. I wonder what the point of that is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if any other show. I know not on Netflix, anyways. They don't really do this. Like, they've split seasons in half, prior shows and stuff like that, like a mid-season, which is fine. But then this did it in 3 parts, so I was kind of like, what? Like, when you told me there's only 5 episodes, I was confused. Like, what? Where's the rest of them?
Going back to the Cobra Kai, the weird thing about it. I want to know your opinion. What did you think about the whole secret of Mr. Miyagi they found out?
It felt like extra, unneeded.
Thank you. That's exactly the way I felt. I was like, what was the point of that? Mm-hmm. Again, they're trying to stretch things. They're trying to add new things, and it's not clicking.
To get Daniel on a bad path or a bad mood, basically, to duke it out with Johnny again. It was just an unneeded excuse.
That could have been done so many different ways, better ways.
Yeah. I guess in a way also to keep Mr. Miyagi's name relevant, maybe, but at the same time, like, it just felt unneeded. Like, they were good. Just train the kids and ship them off to Spain so they can compete. Like, I mean, there's plenty of story within the kids and out there. They did not need to add that in.
Yeah.
It just kind of muddied up Mr. Miyagi's name.
Yeah, yeah. And I had a just different vision of him with a great guy and all that, but now all of a sudden he's like was involved in some crazy weird stuff, and yeah, like I said, it was just really unnecessary. I believe for that there was no
Yeah.
point.
In the next part, maybe they can turn it around and make that storyline something. Maybe clean up his name again. Be like, oh, it was a whole mistake, and that's why it happened. Non spoilers. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. That's exactly what we're talking about. But I'm hoping that for the next part two, that they'll expand on that story, not just leave it the way it is, and kind of clear up Miyagi's name a little bit and bring LaRusso back to
Yeah.
okay.
Clear it and get
Easy
rid of it
nail.
because they only clear whatever the problem is and get rid of it because it's not really helping the series. I don't think.
Overall, though,
I did enjoy it. I'll say that.
yeah,
I did enjoy it, and definitely can't wait for the next ones to come up. But at the same time, I was a little disappointed. You can say it.
okay.
Maybe because my hopes were really high for it. Maybe that was it, or I had the bar set up too high or something. But I was hoping for something good, like better.
Yeah. I guess overall, I am a little disappointed. I do understand that this is building the story for the whole season 6, the big finale. That last episode, though, episode number 5, the way it ended.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
give it props on that.
They
on
amped
that.
up the energy for that last episode.
And that's what I was hoping it would have been like through all of them, but something cool like that. A great cliffhanger, you can say, yeah. Something cool like that. But then you get into the last episode.
Yeah. You had to wait 2 hours and a half to get to the good part. And they're like, oh, now I got to wait 3 months or whatever.
It was fun, though. I don't want to say what it is, just in case. No spoilers.
Right. Me and my wife, for that episode, we were like pausing, like, what's going to happen? Who are they going to choose? Or who's going to win? Who's going to be captains? Like, it had us on our toes, and it had us like...
I had to say something, though. When they were doing the whole picking who was going to be on the team and who's going to be captain, that was kind of predictable. I knew who was going to be. And if you watched it so long enough, you kind of knew who was going to be, too. You know, it had to be one of the main characters.
Yeah, not to give too many spoilers or try not to... But the main 4 cast... Those were our guys for sure, but the final 2, those were the ones where me and my wife were like, "Who's it gonna be? It has to be him. No, it's got to be her. It's got to be. They're really focusing on her. No, it's got to be him. He's been a big part of the whole series, and the way that they did it, it was like, oh crap! I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Was not expecting that. Wasn't expecting that either. Oh crap! Like they got me. They got me, and then they got me again.
You remember when it was like down to 3? Yeah,
Well, four. It was
pretty
down
cool.
to 4
4.
for 2 spots.
Oh, 2 spots, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was pretty cool. Like I said, I liked it. I was just expecting more. That's all.
Right.
But I would say it was good.
Yeah, I will say that they did him dirty. Yeah, 'cause, he was kind of like that character. He came in, I believe, in season 3.
Yeah.
And they kind of started building him up to be a major player in this series. And then this last season comes up and they just drop him for the most part. He's still there, but he's like kind of in the background, not really doing much. He had like, I don't know, in one episode he had a good 15 minutes or so where it was about him. And then the rest of the episodes.
Yeah, once he changed his mind, I guess, and started being on the good side, you can say, then he was just gone. That was it. He switched over, and that was about it for him.
Yeah, and it goes back to there's too many characters. There's too many storylines going on, and the way they ended that storyline, I guess, with him, like, it just felt flat. It felt empty. It's like, oh, that's it? That's all we're getting? Okay. Let's focus on the main storyline. It's like, all right, I guess. But it wasn't a satisfying way to end that.
No, I agree. Overall, it was good. It was just, because, like I said, plenty of times expecting more.
Yeah. On a scale from 1 out of 10, with 10 being the best, what would you score Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 1?
Dang, okay, let's see. I'm going to go with 7.5.
I am going to give it a score of 7 out of 10. Looks like we're pretty close. We're right on the same page.
Okay.
It was still enjoyable. I was not bored, but I did want more. And I'm hoping that the next two parts will pick up and make it great again.
Thinking about it now, I'm thinking about the episode. And I'm not trying to give too much away, but that one episode with the guy is a stingray, right? He had that one scene that was in the forest. What was the point of that? I didn't quite understand that.
That left me a little confused as well. I'm like, oh, he's back. Cool. What? He's gone? Okay.
And I don't know what he was like. What was he trying to do? I didn't quite understand that part. Like, what was the point of that? Well, everything he did, it was like, okay, that was okay. Like you're trying to like just buy some time or something. It was just kind of weird, and then it just felt like he was there. Like in other characters, he was there, then he was gone. But at least the other one, the other character, they made sense. This one didn't make sense to me. At least didn't make sense.
I don't think they're going to touch on that again. Like it was just probably a one-off, and I don't know. Maybe just an excuse to have Stingray in the final season at least once. Maybe that's my guess.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird.
A little pointless. Yeah, it was kind of funny, but yeah, it was just it's going nowhere.
There were a couple of those throughout the first part of it. A couple of things they definitely needed.
Yeah, I think it would have been fine if this was not the series finale. I think it would have been fine in any other, but I think for this one, I was just looking more for that final, season. Like, let's take it seriously. Let's close storylines. Let's end arcs. Let's wrap it up. Let's get to that final big ending. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my 7 out of 10. Enjoyable, still worth a watch. And definitely for the story building for future episodes.
Yeah.
Would you urge someone to watch it now? Or can they just wait for the next section, part 2?
Me, being a fan, I would go ahead and say watch it now. Being a fan, of course, that's why I did it. If you like it, I'd say go watch it now. You have something to do. It's in 5 episodes, but it's still enjoyable. I would recommend it. Especially if you're invested in like I was, then definitely. I was kind of from the moment it started from season 1, episode 1. I was invested. I loved it, and I stuck with it. So yeah, if you're a fan of it, yeah, go for it.
I would say wait for part 2 to come out. Maybe, hopefully, these first 5 episodes will make a little more sense once that part 2 comes out. Because I don't know if someone's brand new coming in, I would hope they don't start with this final season.
It wouldn't make any sense too.
So I would say wait, but watching it now, still fine. As a Cobra Kai fan, for sure.
Really depends on the person, really.
Yeah. If it's on the back burner, I mean, you'll be fine. Do you want to help underprivileged bald men whose hair has fallen, one by one? If you subscribe today, a hair will grow back on CK's head.
For every
one click,
for every like, for every follow, you can make a difference on that bald, shiny head. Subscribe now.
Please, if you don't want my brother B to start looking like CK over there, please subscribe. He's heading that way. With every subscribes, you can get a follicle on that balding head of his. Bing.
Do us all a favor. Subscribe.
Welcome to the SF Files. This is BB and CK, and today we're going to review Twisters. This is a sequel to the first Twister movie that came out in 1996. Wow. A good almost 18 years later. And it was something. It was definitely something.
It was something.
We watched it the other day, me and CK.
It was something.
And we got some thoughts on this. Let's do some good stuff, bad stuff, overall. What did you like about Twisters, if anything at all?
It was a lot of similarity to the first one.
Was it twice as enjoyable? Because there's 2 Twisters?
I don't know. I liked it. I did like it. I was hoping to see more tornadoes than I saw, than what they had. I was kind of hoping to be a few more thrown in there. I felt they kind of weak with the tornadoes. And I remember watching the original, and I remember the tornadoes being crazy, like strong and huge and everything. These kind of felt like wimpy tornadoes in a way. Except for the last one. The last one was huge. Well, obviously, they're always like that. I just felt they were kind of weak. I was hoping it'd be similar to the first one, which it kind of was. The storyline was very similar in a way. They had King Kong, the good guys, and
A-hole
was kind of competing against each other.
Mm-hmm.
That was the same. I don't know. I was kind of hoping to be a little bit the people. Gosh, it's hard to explain because it was a good movie, but not what I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted something new. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I wanted something new, not catching old stuff from the first one and brings this one. I wanted something brand new.
Right. To make a little more sense out of that, because I know what you're saying, but like, okay, to describe this movie, it's almost a copy paste from the first Twister movie to this one. There's a lot of similarities, a lot of parallels there. Yeah. There's even some callbacks, some Easter eggs in there, like they were using Dorothy, the original with the bucket that had the little aluminum balls and it tracked the motion of the tornado. They were using that, which was pretty cool. The story, what it's about is they're trying to find more information on tornadoes. They're trying to see how they form, just more general information about them, which is kind of what they were doing in the first one.
They did have a new idea, though.
Yeah. Like in this one, it was more like, let's learn even more about it.
Yeah. One thing I didn't like is the new idea they had to stop a tornado. Remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, that was kind of weird to me. I didn't like that. I mean, it was cool how it worked, but it just sounded way too out there for me. So we can stop a tornado? Come on.
Yeah, they use science, right? Or their science, two meteorologists using science to try and stop a tornado. So in a way, they tried to explain it, and I think they pulled it off. I know it's a movie, and it's probably fake science that doesn't make sense in real life, but the way they portrayed it, they did a good job selling it. Like, oh, this is why it does. It needs water, this and that. They did a good job selling it. I also think that the main character, she was pretty good. She had to live through that tragedy in the beginning, also something similar to the first movie, where she leaves and then she's back at it, chasing tornadoes and trying to learn more about it. She did good. She did all right. Believable, good performance.
I agree with you on that one. I did like her character. She was good in it, definitely, for sure.
What do you think about, what was it, Tyler? He was the cowboy?
Yep. a little annoying at first. Yeah, very annoying at first to me. But later on, he kind of grew on me because he kind of changed a little bit. And I'm trying to like him a little more. But at the very beginning, I wanted to punch him. just get up and do the screen and bam! One. That's how annoying he was.
Glenn Powell, yeah, he surprised me in this because you're right. He was a jackass in the beginning. I was like, oh, I don't like him. He's a jerk. But the guy's a YouTuber, kind of putting on that YouTube persona, amping it up, being extra. And when he's off camera is when you kind of see him as a person. It's like, oh, you're not a real dirtbag. Well, he kind of probably still is, but not as much as he was showing. And yeah, you're right. He kind of grows on you. They give him a pretty decent backstory. Like, they completely turn him around. So, I mean, they did a pretty good job with that as well. And then Anthony Ramos, Javi, that guy surprised me. Because then they did the same thing for him. They gave him a backstory. He also had a tragic loss in the beginning. And then, boom, twist in the story.
No, he was kind of the same throughout, I think. I guess he was drawn more to the greed side with the money and all that. Almost anybody really would. But I think he stayed pretty much the same throughout. He was still chasing tornadoes. He still wanted to be friends with this girl, still cared for her and all that stuff. So that didn't really change. Even later on, he still showed that he cared for her.
The true villain of this movie, you would think is a tornado, but it's not. It's David Cornsweet, our next Superman. I didn't even realize it was him until after the movie. And I was looking at the credits, and then I realized, like, oh my god, he's the jerk. He's the guy who doesn't smile. He's the guy on Javi's team. He was just like arms crossed, like a pissed off coach.
Yeah, he kind of had this Superman pose already. He was like,
yeah, he was an
yeah,
he did a pretty damn good job. Pretty much from the beginning, he was like, oh, I don't like him, and at the end, it's like, oh, I don't like him.
Well, I kind of in the very beginning, the first scene, you get of him. I thought he was just a hard guy, but he was professional and he was on point, kind of rough edges here and there, but I liked him. But then when he actually goes out into the field, I didn't like that part. Then it becomes kind of mean, actually.
Yeah. He's according to he did a pretty good job portraying a pretty good villain.
Yeah, honestly, I like the character.
I also like the effects for this movie. Like, similarly to the old one, the twisters, the tornadoes looked pretty good, I thought. There wasn't like times where I was looking at it like, oh, that's CGI, or it looked realistic. They did a pretty good job with the effects in this one.
No, the effects were pretty awesome, actually. Especially the fire tornadoes. Those were badass, dude. That was awesome looking.
Yeah,
Especially in the big screen.
that was sick.
And my favorite part, even in the old one, it was like this, when they would get a sound of the tornadoes, like no music or nothing, just the sound of it. To me, that's freaking awesome. I feel like, I don't know, personally, me, I love storms. I would never be a storm chaser, but I definitely love storms. I love to watch them and hear about them, track them when I can on my own for fun. I love doing that.
For fun.
Yeah, I can't do it. But, however, I do love, at least for fun, I'm playing with it. I'm tracking on my own with my cool laptop and phone.
You're a digital tornado chaser.
Yeah, there you go. I like to be outside, I like to feel the wind and the storm, look at it and watch what it does. But yeah, to me, that was really awesome, the storm, the sound of the storm. They did a cool job on that one. But what I meant earlier when I said they were kind of weak, they kind of died out really fast. They didn't last very long. That's what I kind of meant by it. They did some damage for sure, but they just didn't last very long, the storms.
I did like how, not to give away too much, but there was a scene when it was in a movie theater. And it had me like looking around like, is this place secure?
Waiting for them to fly off.
Yeah, it was a good scene, man. It was obviously that was made for viewers in the theater. Yeah. It's probably not going to hit the exact same if you watch it at home, but for just a brief moment, the sound was cool. It was like, oh crap! Like
we watched it in like XD sound or something like that in picture, so it's a little more advanced.
Okay.
And the sound thing we were talking about, cause when it would rumble, your seat would rumble.
Yeah.
It was that good, the sound.
That was pretty cool. It was nice to experience that kind of disaster film. The sound, like it just enhanced it. Definitely pretty cool effect.
That's kind of a movie that you have to see in theaters, really, for the size and the sound. I think you have to see that one.
I was disappointed that there wasn't a cow in the tornado.
No, I think there was actually.
Was there? I missed it.
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
There was a cow. You know, there was a cow. I think there were two cows actually. It didn't do it like did in the first one, where like passes right by them.
Yeah.
But you can see the chain actually pick up the cows, I believe.
If they did that, then they messed up, dude. Because they should have done it.
Yeah, that would have been funny. That would have been really funny. That would have been a good one.
Just a callback. Just some Easter egg, you know. Just part out of the first one, and this one they're like, nah, we're a serious sequel.
That was cool. It was an enjoyable movie.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a decent disaster movie. I think that for a disaster movie, now that it's been 18 years later, there has been several disaster movies. I kind of feel like they've done it all. And in Twisters, I felt like they didn't do anything new. Like, not really. Like, it's a tornado. We, here in Texas, we go through tornadoes. We've gone through a couple already this year. And they're just kind of like, yeah, they do massive damage. Yeah, they get that right. But at the same time, it's like, oh, it's not doing anything different. Other than that fire tornado that they did in that one scene, which was really cool. Yeah. But like throughout the whole movie, it was just regular tornadoes. It's like, oh, okay. It just didn't feel like anything new, like you said earlier.
And like I said, it was almost a shot for shot from the first one. Yeah, pretty much almost the same. A couple of different things here to try and change it up a little bit, but it was pretty much almost the same as the first one.
The best part of the movie, probably when my chair got stuck.
The timing of that was perfect because I was eating like a little chocolate thingy, and as soon as I looked over, that happened to you, and I almost choked on the chocolate piece because I was laughing too much, and I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, it was
too perfect, man.
A little inside joke, but what happened was I was in the big, comfy, big chair, and I pushed a button so I can lean back. I'm like, all right, that's good right there. And then I overdid it. I went a little too far, so I'm like, oh, let me push it again. Let me push the down button so I can move forward. And they go back further, like, oh crap, okay. And I stop. I'm like, oh no. It might be the other way. So I went to press the right button. And I go back even further, like, oh crap, I can't stop. I look over and CK's dying. Yeah,
I really was dying. I was joking.
It turns out it was just two buttons, and I was pressing the same button, but on different sides.
That was too funny. You had to actually be there to find out it's funny, but it was great.
Anyways, back to the twisters. Anything bad? Anything that you wanted to see that did not happen?
Like I said earlier, twisters.
To be desired.
Powerful twisters.
Just more damage, more destruction, more...
Yeah, and just, bigger and cool, like just badass twisters. And they didn't, first of all, they didn't last very long when they were going. And they were cool looking, but it wasn't what I was hoping for. I was hoping for, like, crazy tornadoes, like something new,
Right, yeah. If there's a third one, a sequel to this one, I don't know, maybe they can amp it up a little bit going to a city. Because this one, they were just in the sticks out in the farms, and I guess maybe that's why they didn't look so big.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Didn't think about it like that. Yeah, you can be right, actually.
Yeah, because, the town did look destroyed. Like, there was massive damage to that town, but it was a small town. Like, it's not going to look as bad as if it hit a city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe that's like, maybe we got spoiled with these big disaster movies. Like the last one that I can think of was most recent ones. The one with The Rock. What was it? San Andreas?
Oh, yeah. Earthquake one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, earthquake, and then it was like flooding in the city and a lot of high stakes. Like, I think maybe we just got spoiled, and disaster movies have been coming along, evolving and changing, and we're just accustomed to bigger things. And this one was definitely a throwback. It felt a lot smaller than something like San Andreas.
Could be right, like what you said, because it was out in the open. That could have played a big part, yeah.
Nonetheless, I did find the movie enjoyable. There wasn't a whole lot of parts where I was like, man, nothing's happening. What time is it? We gotta go. I sat there, I watched, I enjoyed it, I enjoyed myself. But yeah, it was just a little left to be desired, I guess you can say.
Same for me. I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. I was hoping for a couple different things. Like I said earlier, tornadoes and stuff like that. Storyline was very similar to the original. Two different teams competing with another. One thing that I also mentioned earlier when we first started talking about it was their idea of destroying the tornado or stopping the tornado. I didn't like that. I thought that was kind of dumb. It's kind of cool the way they played it out and how they explained it and stuff like that. And again, I know it's a movie, but that was far-fetched for me.
I will say that whenever I get a truck, I'm going to get those big drills installed on there.
That was awesome, though.
That
ain't go nowhere on that one.
That was really cool. Great. Yeah. I can't park here? Okay. Move me.
Move me.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was nice adjustments to the truck there.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
All right, so let's score this bad boy. Twisters, 2024. 1 out of 10, with 10 being the best.
You go first in this one.
You want me to go first? All right, sure. There wasn't a whole lot of new stuff. Effects were awesome. Actors, pretty decent job. I did enjoy myself. I'm going to give this a solid 7.5. Okay. Enjoyable, but nothing really new. Not the best. Yeah, it was okay. It was all right.
All right, well, my turn. Enjoyable movie. Great effects. Awesome. Mm-hmm. The sound, I love that. I just loved it. I love the sound. That was awesome. The tornadoes. The storyline was done already. It's very similar already. I wasn't too crazy about ideas that they had for tornadoes. I liked the characters. All of them, either I hated them, or I liked them, or eventually grew on me. I would give it a solid 7.2. Yeah, 7.2.
We're about on the same page again here.
Yeah. I liked it, but the thing that I was hoping for that I didn't get. But I enjoyed it.
Okay. Would you recommend this movie to be watched in theaters?
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, this is one of the movies you have to watch in theaters. If you're into the whole sound and big screen and everything to really enjoy this kind of a movie, then yes, I would definitely say watch it in theaters.
For a disaster film, if that's your jam, the sounds will definitely enhance the viewing experience 100%. I agree with you. However, for anyone else who is not like really into disaster movies, you can watch this at home. It was a fun experience in theaters. However, do you have to watch this in theaters? No, I don't think so. Not personally. You'll be perfectly fine if you watch it on streaming at home. Still enjoyable, still worth a watch, but maybe not at the top of your list. If you're bored, you want to go out, yeah, go check it out. You'll enjoy it.
Definitely.
Well, that is our review for Twisters 2024. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, subscribe, send CK some mail, request for that hat to be removed. Give us a little shine on that dome. Good, CK. Does that give us that flash? Did that get it?
No, not today. I'll tell you for now.
Twisters. Deadpool and Wolverine. Two words that should have been enough to blow our mind. On paper, it's the ultimate superhero showdown. A dream match for the ages. But did it live up to the hype? This movie is a cinematic equivalent of a nuclear explosion. I mean, you've got the merc with a mouth, Deadpool, the ultimate wise-cracking anti-hero, paired with the brooding, clawed badass. It's a match made in comic book heaven, right? Well, let's just say the expectations were very high, as this has been one of the most anticipated movies, at least on my list, and I know that on many others' lists as well. We've been waiting for this for a long time. Ever since it was announced, this has just been top of the list. I have to watch this movie. As a fan of the Marvel movies, as a fan of the Deadpool movies, as a fan of Wolverine, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to go over the good stuff, the bad, what I liked, what I didn't like, and let you know if this is worth your time. Is it worth your money? Did this movie deliver? Let's dive in. Let's start with the good. Deadpool and Wolverine is a buddy cop movie, right? You pair Deadpool, who is just non-stop comedic. He just doesn't stop talking. He goes. He's on. Once he's on a roll. He goes. Throughout the whole movie, he's wisecracking throughout the whole damn thing. Wolverine, he's a straight man. He's the guy who's not going to take Deadpool.
What up?
He's just not going to allow him to just steamroll him. Like he's just the badass. It's Wolverine. And that dynamic between the two, like the straight man and the guy who just won't shut up, like it's fantastic. Those two just, they're oil and water. They do not mix, and it's just fantastic for screen, for watching wise. It's Ryan Reynolds at the top of his game, going right at it. It feels like Deadpool. It feels like the first two Deadpools from Fox. Disney did not hold him back, and I am so happy that is the case. I heard that Disney wanted to make changes and Ryan put his foot down, and I don't know if those rumors are true or not, but if they are, I'm so glad that it came out the way that it did, because it is 100% Deadpool. You will be glad to know that they did not hold back. This is a true rated R movie, because everything that comes out of Deadpool's mouth is very much rated R. There's blood everywhere. There's Wolverine is just stabbing people, and it's great. It's fantastic. Rated R. Mwah. They delivered. The humor in this movie is absolutely just it's Deadpool. If you enjoyed the humor from the first two Deadpools, this one will not disappoint. Yes, there's a few jokes here and there that didn't land as hard as you would want them to, but overall, I was laughing throughout the whole thing. And even better, if you did your Marvel homework, a lot more jokes are going to land better. Like they're just references to older MCU movies. And for those who are just starting now, like this is just not the best starting point, because there's so many references to prior Marvel movies, and it's just, there's so much packed into this movie. Like it's the payoff, and it's just fantastic. And even more so, there's references here and there, cameos here and there. I'm not going to spoil it. I hope that by the time this comes out, like I've just logged into my YouTube and I see spoilers everywhere. Beware, stay off the internet. If you can, stay off the internet before you watch this movie. You want to watch this for yourself. I'm so glad that for the most part, leaks and spoilers were out of my sight, because they were such pleasant surprises. I was just so happy when I saw this movie and I saw everything for the first time, and it was just fantastic. It's like, oh my God, this is just amazing. I can't believe that they pulled this off. I was just extremely happy as a fan of the Marvel and the Fox universe. Is like, it's just fantastic. I couldn't be happier. And speaking about fantastic, the opening to Deadpool and Wolverine is absolutely hilarious. It's amazing. It's in the trailer when Deadpool is walking in that snowy area. It's great. Like I'm not gonna give it away, but it is just I can't believe that they did it. It's hilarious. It's just I'm just thinking about it. I really like the openings to both Deadpool 1 and 2. Even after this one, I have to say that I think I'm going to favor Deadpool 1. That opening is just unbelievable. This one, though, it's great. I love it. It's so good. And when I watched it in theaters, the whole audience was just laughing. I couldn't believe that they did it. This is just great. There is just no limits to what Deadpool sets himself to. It's just anything and everything is possible. They go with that. They just run with it. And it's great. And I love it. The whole intro is fantastic. It's funny. The fight scenes the choreography is great. The fight scenes were fantastic. The creativity in the way that Deadpool disposes of the TVA there, and that's not spoiler, that's in trailer. But the way that he does it is just such a creative mind. Whoever came up with that, like, fantastic, absolutely amazing. It's just great. And like I said, it's rated R. They are not afraid to go for the gory shots where there's like claws going through somebody's head, or the way that Deadpool just stabs somebody and clearly it's sticking through him, and clearly it is rated R and not suitable for children necessarily. Yeah, definitely not. There's just everything that is said in this movie, and not just from Deadpool, but there's a ton of F-bombs and gory shots. It's definitely not a kid's movie. Overall, I'm just very happy with the way that the movie came out. Like, there's just so many references. There's just so many things that happen that makes sense. Everything just makes sense. It falls in line with everything that happened in the Fox universe and everything that has been happening in the Marvel universe. And it just meshes together perfectly. And it's just an absolute dream to watch. There's no way that a fan of the Marvel movie is going to walk out of this movie theater unhappy. Definitely loved it. I have had fun with it. My wife loved it. Gonna have to go watch this movie again just because it's that good. I really did enjoy this. And again, if you're a fan of the Marvel, you're gonna love it. Now onto the bad of the film, because it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Unfortunately, it's not the perfect Marvel movie. Like, it's great and I love it and I'm always gonna love it, but I've got to be fair as I'm reviewing this. I got to talk about what I didn't like about this movie. And there isn't a whole lot that this film kind of came short on, but there is a few things in there. Like the way that the movie starts after the intro, the whole motivation that drives Deadpool forward, that pushes him to continue on his journey, it is not a good motivator. I did not like the story driver. I didn't like how everything Deadpool did in the first two movies, it kind of felt flat, like it was for nothing. And the way that they portray Deadpool and Vanessa's relationship, like, it just did not fit in line with what was established in the first two movies. I just didn't like the way that they kind of set up Deadpool. Well, he's time traveling, right? He's time traveling with Cable's device. And they did show this, okay? But for me, as I was watching, I was lost for a minute. Like, oh, what happened? How did he get here? How did this happen? Like, they showed it, but they were very quick with it. If you blink, you're going to miss it. This part for me, like, it wasn't 100% clear. When he time traveled into a specific world, and this is still for the story building bit, like, I got lost. And it wasn't until close to the end where I was like, oh, okay, so that's what it was. Like, it just wasn't 100% clear. Maybe I think the pacing was just a little quick. It was very like something was happening at all times, and the pace of the film was extremely fast. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because this is a few minutes over, 2 hours and 7 minutes or so. So for it to move as fast as it did, there's a lot of information going at you. There's a lot to keep up with. The pacing is, considering how long the movie is appreciated. But like I said, it is very fast. If you blink, you're going to miss something. If you take a restroom break in the middle of this film, you've lost a lot of information. So keep that in mind. There are certain things, certain characters that come into play that just doesn't necessarily make sense. One in specific. Oh, and you know what? Okay, she's in the trailer, so I can give this one away. X-23, she is in the trailer. She's talking to Logan. She's talking to Wolverine, but it doesn't necessarily make sense as to why she is able to meet this variant of Wolverine. It just like, I'm going to break this down a little bit more in our spoiler review, which is going to release next week. So make sure you catch that. But it just didn't make sense exactly as to why she was there. For the story, for the movie itself, it was amazing that she was there. It was great she was there. It's awesome. And she was awesome. That she was even there, the original actress, that she was there, amazing. Great. I loved it. It doesn't bother me that she was there. It's just kind of like, in hindsight, like, you're not really supposed to be there. But nonetheless, it's great that she was there. She played a fairly decent role in this one, actually. So I'm pretty happy about that. And then as far as the Wolverine variant that we get, his story is like, his background story is he starts off, kind of just hating life, not wanting to be of any help, and gets on this journey with Deadpool, and they have that back and forth. They're just not on the same page. And towards the end, his redemption arc, he turns it around and he becomes the hero. He becomes the Wolverine. He becomes what this movie needed at the end. And it's fitting. It's good. Hugh Jackman, he's still got it. He's just great. I mean, he's Wolverine. He's the Wolverine. He's the GOAT. He was great. He's amazing. He's perfect as Wolverine. He plays Logan spectacularly. His Wolverine story was much, much deeper and meaningful in Logan. Those are two completely different movies, and yes, they're supposed to be two different variants of Wolverine. Logan has more depth, has more storytelling, just goes after your emotions. In Deadpool Wolverine, I could sense that they were reaching for your sympathy. They were trying to hit those emotional strings, but they didn't quite get me. It was just a fun ride throughout, action-packed. It was hilarious. Yeah, they had their emotional scenes, but they didn't quite get me. And, that's fine. It's forgivable. I don't mind it whatsoever because I just had fun with this movie. It was such a treat to watch this, and especially in the widescreen and cinema. It's fantastic. You absolutely have to experience it in a movie theater. My score for this movie, 1 out of 10, with 10 being the best, I'm going to say this movie deserves, I'm going to give this movie an 8.5. Yes, 8.5. Like I said, this movie is just hilarious. The action is amazing. The dialogue is 100% Deadpool. If you did your homework with MCU and Fox Universe, this is just too damn funny. It's so good. I highly appreciated that they stuck with the rated R, and it's just 100% fitting for a Deadpool and a Wolverine movie. Visually, it's just great. It is a must watch. Even if you're a mild Marvel fan, this is a must watch. You absolutely have to watch this. It's just great. Longtime fans of the Wolverine, it's just worth it. It's 100% worth it. It is the weakest story of the 3 Deadpool movies, but nonetheless, it is a fantastic film. It is fun. It is not. This one's not going to win any Emmys. This one's not going to. Well, I say that, but you never know, right? Comparably, it's in there. It's in there, but it's high in there, and it is still fun to watch. It is absolutely just a fantastic film. I think it absolutely lived up to the hype. A lot of fans, Marvel fans, and other reviewers alike are going to be very happy watching this film. But enough about me. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What did you not like about it? Let me know in the comments below if you liked it, if you hated it. Send us some email, BogusBird@theSFiles.com, and make sure you catch us next week with our full spoiler review. This is BogusBird signing out, and we'll catch you on the next one.